Hello and welcome back to Popcorn Saga, the Infinity Saga chronological rewatch, re-release, I don't know, whatever it is. It's a podcast and you can find it wherever you get your podcast. Just search Popcorn Saga, or you can listen to it on YouTube and see my mug before every episode. Anyway, the next step in the rewatch is Thor, my favourite movie at the time. Obviously they released a lot better ones. He has yellow eyebrows and he's pretty awesome. Enjoy. Everybody, and welcome to Popcorn Saga. Joining me today is Tiff. How you doing, Tiff?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good. And I just answered for everyone listening. And the god of thunder himself, James. How's it going, my man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. So last time we spoke about the Incredible Hulk, and now it's Thor. Yeah, I'm excited about this one because this was my favourite going into this, but I haven't seen it for so long. But I remember the first time I watched it, I was absolutely thought it was awesome. What were your guys' preconceptions before watching this film?
I can't remember what year. What year did it come out?
2011.
Released 2011.
Oh right, so it's a few years after Iron Man. Okay.
Yeah, it was 3 years after Iron Man.
Yeah, but same year as Captain America: The First Avenger. But we're doing it chronologically. So we start off with a scene with Jane and her crew and the lightning. Now, I had a question about this for you, Mr. James, Mr. Knowledge. So she was saying there's been 17 occurrences with this crazy lightning thunderstorms. What are those occurrences? Because I was like, maybe it's the hammer, or maybe other people have been coming, but the hammer comes after Thor, before Thor. So what is she on about?
Well, she's essentially what she doesn't know that she's looking for. She's looking for the Bifrost anyway. At least I think that's what it is, because that's all of the stuff he explains later on and stuff, and it kind of ties her into it. It's seeing all of these different times that they've come down to Earth and done stuff, I'm guessing.
But we're just not aware of who's been there and what they've been doing, really.
Basically, and they don't realise that it's obviously people coming through until later on in the film and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like they're just tracking the strange geological and atmospheric changes and stuff.
So it's all related to the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart.
Yes.
Right, so 965 AD, Odin, king of Asgard, wages war against the frost giants on Jotunheim and their leader Laufey, or is it Laufey? Laufey, to prevent them from conquering the 9 realms, starting with Earth. The Asgardian warriors defeat the frost giants in Tonsberg, Norway, and seize the source of their power, the casket of the ancient warriors. Right, this sent my little Peter tingle off. When the location in Norway came up, I started to think, like, did we all sound really stupid in the Captain America episode? Like, when we was asking how the Tesseract got there, I thought maybe this was the explanation and people were probably thinking we were dumb. But I'm still not sure, because that box isn't the Tesseract, is it? The Frost Giant
No,
weapon.
it's the Frost Giant's cradle. I can't remember exactly what it's called off the top of my
Oh,
head.
is it not? I thought it was.
Wait, you thought that was the Tesseract?
Oh my god.
You should have thought about that before we were recording.
Right, okay, carry on.
You realise the subject matter here, you realise the audience that we're trying to achieve here.
Because as far as we know, the Tesseract is with Nick Fury because the cat ate it and spat it on the table in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So our blushes have been spared but obviously the connection to Odin and this place in Norway started a long time ago. So, how did it get there before? Because that's where Schmidt finds it in Captain America.
It is, it was part of Odin's treasure room. Because you get the whole speech when Red Skull, I can't remember his actual character name in the film, but when he finds it and he's going on about it was the jewel of Odin's treasure room. Yeah. So he had it on there, and then he must have put it into Tonsberg, and that's where he left it.
So yeah,
do you reckon? Eventually, where it's found.
Do we think he left it there in 965 AD when they was having the war with the frost giants?
Be a bit risky, I think.
But okay.
I think it probably would have been a bit later.
Possible,
yeah, definitely possible.
Possible, but no clearer. Thanks, Captain Marvel. I don't know why she's to blame. Right, so we get a flashback to young Thor and Loki, and oh my god, how cringy is the Thor kid when he does his his little sword swipe and stuff. I was like, oh god.
He's really funny. He's in what's he in as well? He's in Real Steel as well. That's a really cracking film, and I just immediately recognised him from that. Yeah. And yeah, as you say, he was a bit over the top.
It was over the top. It's overkill.
Yeah, he reminded me of
get his 5 minutes of fame thing.
It reminded me of the kid I used to play wrestling with in year 3. But anyway, in the present.
Back?
Yeah, another wrestling reference. I can't remember.
You gotta have one per episode, yeah.
In the present, Odin's son Thor prepares to ascend to the throne of Asgard, but is interrupted when the frost giants attempt to retrieve the casket. That's it. Anthony Hopkins rules this scene, especially when him and Thor have a back and forth in the treasure room. But you're not king, are you? I won't try and say it like him, but that was pretty awesome. But obviously, before that, he's about to make him the king, isn't he? And then obviously that happened.
Yeah, that interrupts it.
But yeah, then they go down and that's it. And Thor's saying to him about going to war and being very naive, and Hopkins just puts him in his place. And I was like, that is awesome. What an actor.
Yeah, he definitely gave me chills. Like, he's just so good.
Just the way he shoots him down. But you're not king, are you?
Yeah.
I obviously
you just think,
I think that was improvised as well. I think I saw a thing about he improvised that bit.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because way back a few weeks ago in our preview episode, you said he's your favourite actor, Tiff. Anyway.
Yes.
That's it. Thor's naivety and arrogance is portrayed very well. Against Odin's order, Thor travels to Jotunheim to confront Laufey, accompanied by his brother Loki, childhood friend Sif, and the Warriors 3, Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun. Thor kicks Cirrus' ass in these scenes. Again, arrogance and naivety, which is the point, I know, but it's very well done. This was pretty cool when he goes there. I really like this little bit. And their battle ensues until Odin intervenes to save the Asgardians, destroying the fragile truce between the two races. But we rewind a bit, we go back to the battle, and you just see how awesome Thor is and how powerful he is, don't you?
Yeah. It was very well. The location's very good as well. I mean, it's well shot and well staged anyway. It looks very good.
Yeah.
When they're in that room and they're talking to each other.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they released the big beast to get Thor, and Thor just bullets through his mouth, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I think
I just love the way that he just smashing through everyone like they were butter, really.
And
because he's a god, so you got to kind of set that level of his power very early on, like they have with other characters.
And Loki, I think Loki says it later on in the film, not to jump ahead of it, but he says you could have taken them all out all on your own, and he pretty much could. Like, Thor is a BMF, big time, and I think already quite early on Thor's been well established. He's very naive. You can see the journey he's going to go on, but he's also a double-R motherfucker. Right, so then Odin turns up again like an absolute G for God, and silences young Thor again. And he just came out of the sky like Jeebus. It was pretty awesome.
Just steals the scene, again.
Yeah,
like
again,
say, just
Odin
comes in and just demands the whole fucking room.
Yeah, really good, really good. And for Thor's arrogance, Odin strips his son of his godly power and exiles him to Earth as a mortal, accompanied by his hammer, Mjolnir? Yeah. Not Mjolnir. Now protected by enchantment that allows only the worthy to wield it. That is it. Loki looking shifty again, so you only get a bit of shifty Loki in the background. And that is it. I'm getting Odin boners over him dressing him down. And I've written here, explain Odin boner. Okay, so basically, Odin is Shaft with one eye, and he's very impressive. And his two balls are Loki and Thor. Thor obviously being the big one that hangs a bit low. And then later on, obviously, when he has his Odin sleep, the balls take over and he goes soft. Anyway, Odin boners just because Anthony Hopkins is like awesome. It's so good. Like this first 20 minutes or whatever, just unbelievable. Chills when he cast him out and says his bit about William Worthy. I was like, this is awesome. It's like the best acting we've seen so far on this journey, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely got I actually got goosebumps at that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Definitely got the Odin boner going on. Yeah.
Thor lands in New Mexico, where I expected him to see Jesse Pinkman and Walter White. #Breaking Bad, where astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster and her assistant Darcy, who's hilarious, and Dr. Eric Selvig, who's Bootstrap Bill. Bootstraps. That's it. Darcy has some cracking lines. She says, legally, it's your fault. Does he need CPR? He looks like he needs CPR. Who tases him? Is it Jane?
No, it's her.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Darcy. Yeah, Darcy tases him. And he goes to the hospital and he tries escaping and stuff, and he gets
that's really funny.
injected again.
Yeah.
It's funny how he gets to Earth and he's like, how dare you do that to the mighty Thor or something, and they just stick him in the neck. And that's it. Then she sees like the outline of Thor in the clouds, so they realise he actually came from Rainbow Road Mario Kart. Fuck that level. And then he just slips his hands out the handcuffs pretty easily, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, well, hold on a minute. Surely,
they are
if they were that easy to get out of.
Yeah,
I know although he's a god, so. But then his powers have been stripped away.
Yeah, he stripped his powers, so he's.
So yeah, I mean.
Now he's just a really strong man.
He's huge. Don't get me wrong. I can believe.
Oh God, he's so fit, isn't he?
Level.
Unbelievable. Anyway, then she runs him over again, which is funny. Then we get Stan Lee trying to pull the hammer with the truck. Is he in the truck, isn't he? And it rips the truck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Thor with his shirt off. Jesus, that's what my note says.
Well, they had to have one in there. Like, he spent all that time getting ripped. I mean, you got to have his with his shirt off. It was a bit of a way to get him out in, wasn't it?
Chris Evans looked good as Cap, but this is just another level.
It's actually unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not fair.
How does that even happen?
And then he says, this mortal form has grown weak, I need sustenance. That was quite funny. I just loved the way he talks. It's so funny. And then Thor's crew start questioning Loki's motives, finally. And then we get Blue Loki. I don't know why I've written that. I can't remember. Is it when he goes back there? Or is it when he's there the first time? I mean, that's when he discovers that he's a frost giant. And then
because he gets touched by the monster after
when they're first
Hogan
there.
does, and then he gets infected on his arm, and then Loki's just like fine, and he just goes blue for a bit. Yeah,
then at some point in Asgard he does it just to do it.
Yeah, he picks up the cradle.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Frost giant again.
Blue Loki. I found that. I know it's always been the case, but I just found it weird that he's a frost giant.
Yeah. So did I, because they're giants, right? So why is he?
And not just that as well.
It's
like
just kind of like a mutation, well, not a mutation. Like it's kind of like I'm guessing it's kind of like how you get people with abnormalities and stuff like that, either with
so he's
their hands and stuff like that.
Okay, right.
Kind of
fine.
just like
he's the Tyrion of the Frost Giant world.
Essentially,
right?
Yeah.
Right,
that's exactly what it is, but not
sweet.
And not that it matters because we're judging these films on the stories in the films, but is that canon in the comics? Was Loki a frost giant?
I can't remember if he is actually a frost giant. I know isn't he originally either in the Norse mythology or in Marvel? He's actually Odin's brother.
Oh,
I think maybe in the original Norse mythology he is. He is the biological son of Laufey, but this is actually the movie Wikipedia page, so that's not
the local.
We'll just gloss over this.
The local populace find Mjolnir, which S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson, legend, soon commandeers before forcibly acquiring Foster's data about the wormhole that delivered Thor to Earth. So I jumped forward a bit earlier. We see Stan Lee trying to pull it out, trying to lift it up. It's like the sword in the stone, and it's that's it. And then they take all their data. She's moaning that her iPod's gone because she just downloaded 80 songs onto it. That's funny. Yeah. I remember you used to do that. Plug the old iPod into the computer. And this really made me laugh. Ford tried to buy a horse from the pet shop, and they say we only do dogs and hamsters. He's like, yes, well, I'm big enough to ride.
Yeah, that was so funny. I love his interactions with on Earth. It's just so good.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's done really well. Jane gives him a lift if he promises answers, and he's being really nice because I thought, oh, what a nice boy, but he's still a bit arrogant. And then Thor, having discovered Mjolnir, how do you actually say it? Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Mjolnir. Okay. nearby location, seeking to retrieve it from the facility that S.H.I.E.L.D. has constructed, but he finds himself unable to lift it and is captured. So this is when he gets grounded a bit. And like, it reminded me when I used to get grounded as a kid, and you don't take your parents' punishment seriously. So you're just sort of strutting around, and he's like, yeah, my dad's banished me out, but I'm still 4. Okay, I'm a bit weak, but I can still lift my hammer. Then he can't lift the hammer, and he realises, oh, daddy really meant it, and he's finally accepted it, and he gives up. Breaks down, even though he beats the hell out of a lot of people. So he's still hard, he's just not a god.
Yeah. But that was really well done, actually. The way he, like you say, when he realises that, and it actually makes him grow up like very quickly. Yeah,
it does, and he gets upset, and Loki discovers that he's Laufey's biological son, adopted by Odin after the war ended. After he confronts Odin, a weary Odin falls in a deep Odin sleep to recover his strength. So yeah, we covered that bit about the biological son. And I got a bit confused. I forgot about the Odin sleep. He just started laying down on the stairs. I was like, oh, he's just going to have a nap.
Yeah.
That's it. So Odin...
They didn't really explain it. Was he like having a heart attack or...
No, it's called.
What?
It's actually a thing called the Odin sleep. Like, it's a thing he does.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a proper part of the comics anyway, because he has to go and regenerate his powers and stuff like that. Even when Thor gets the Odin powers in the comics and becomes like Ultra Level 4, he needs to go into the Odin sleep to be able to recover.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Because I've written, Odin has had it with his bickering son, so he just says, fuck it, I'm going to bed.
Basically,
Yeah, Loki tells Thor Odin is dead and that not even his mum wants him back there. But with Selvig's help, he is freed and resigns himself to exile on Earth as he develops a romance with Foster. Then we get Loki's motives coming to fruition because he's obviously lying to Thor, and Thor just buys it hook, line and sinker. He's got a big old wet soft spot for his brother, hasn't he? And
yeah, they play off that a lot during the whole thing. They play off the brother relationship, but yeah, it's a great way to go. They stole it a lot from like Shakespeare. Is it a Shakespearean play or a play? Anyway, that dynamic.
But you can tell they really care for each other. Yeah, like, deep down.
Yeah, it's just
Thor does anyway at the moment. You can tell that.
Loki's just a whiny little bitch. And at first I thought Coulson actually bought it when Selvig comes to help, but obviously he wants to see where it goes, so he's sort of letting them go so they can follow him. At first I was like, oh, that was pretty easy, but Coulson's not dumb, man. Coulson is a
No, he's not.
Right, Loki takes...
We know it especially because we've seen him all the way through this already.
Yeah, no, that's what I really like about this Coulson character, because of the order we watched it. He's just, it's really good. On the first time watching all these films, obviously when they came out, I didn't care about Coulson at all. Anyway,
no, that's fair. Yeah, they don't really give you any kind of backstory or anything to the original Ray through anyway. So yeah, this is good at least, so you can know where he's come from at least. And
also because we're sort of watching them weekly, like when there's months and years between films, I forget what happens, so you sort of lose a bit of vested interest. So that's why you should all watch the movies and then listen to the podcast. It's great. Loki takes the throne in Odin's stead and offers Laufey the chance to kill Odin and retrieve the casket. Sif and the Warriors 3, unhappy with Loki's rule, attempt to return Thor from exile, convincing Heimdall, who's awesome, gatekeeper of the Bifrost, Megan and Harry's DJ. Why can't I think of his name?
Idris Elba.
That's it, Idris. Big DJ, ask Megan.
Idris.
Ask Megan and Harry. The means of travelling between worlds to allow the passage to Earth. Heimdall is cool, and then he says about, you're going to make me defy my king and your king, and they say yes, and he's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, he does that a lot. That's kind of the only disappointing thing. Like, he's cool, but he just rolls over every time. He's like, no, you go, use it, it's fine. I'm meant to guard this thing, but, if you want to use it, that's fine, I'll just go and get it.
But then for the point of the story, he obviously knows that they're doing it for a good reason.
Yeah, because
he just sort of like lets them go. He's almost like testing them by saying that, like, you want me to do that? Like, you're willing to do that for the right reasons, which is why I'm going to let you do it. He's such a cool guy, man. He's not in it much, but he's just so cool.
Yeah, he was just
do the Batman transition.
He's given himself like plausible deniability, so if like they get grassed up, he can just blame them and say, "Oh, they made me do it." Heimdall's he's like the big scary uncle who's actually a big softie with really cool eyes. Anyway, aware of their plan, Loki sends a destroyer, a seemingly indestructible automation, to pursue them and kill Thor. The Warriors find Thor. When they walk through the streets and everyone's staring at them, that was pretty funny. It was quite it makes the cheesiness work. Like the people in the street are the audience, so this kind of poking fun of itself. And then the Destroyer attacks and defeats them, prompting Thor to offer himself instead. Struck by the Destroyer and near death, Thor proves himself worthy by his sacrifice to wield Mjolnir. Now, I've probably read too much then, but oh well, let's just do it. I liked how Loki wasn't even conflicted in killing Thor. He just yep, boss, see you later. Just did it. Yeah. No hesitation with Loki.
No, it's because it's his plan. He was trying to make it happen all the way through. You can see he was trying to be the evil genius in the background, letting it all happen, and then playing his role. And then that obviously didn't work out, and now he's having to do this. So he fully committed to what he was trying to make happen in the first place. I think it's good for his journey through the film anyway, to make him consistent like that.
Yeah, it's good. But I actually thought Mortal Thor died. I didn't think. This plot thing says he was near death, but did you think he was dead?
Well,
not actually dead. You knew
he looked pretty much done, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't moving much, was he?
So maybe on the brink of death.
Maybe. I suppose. Yeah, brink.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then I didn't feel like it was a big enough sacrifice. I felt like we needed more human Thor time, more conundrums for him to deal with to bring back Mjolnir. It was kind of he went to a cafe, had a cup of tea, was really a nice boy talking to Jane, and then he sacrificed himself, he died, and then obviously it's a worthy sacrifice, but it didn't build up enough to it, if you know what I mean. What did you think?
No, it wasn't a worthy, considering thing, and those felt like they were, even though, especially with Cap anyway at the end and the autopilot, it could have gone a different way, but that one just looked, it was just a little town in Mexico. It's not a big enough kind of give. Yeah.
See, I sort of half disagree. I mean, I get what you're saying with it wasn't really much build up, and that machine thing just kind of came along and it was over pretty quickly. But then at the same time, I mean, the ultimate sacrifice is his life, and he's done that. So.
Oh yeah, no, the sacrifice itself was cool.
But it did rush. It did feel a bit rushed. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely felt like his face turn was pulled too early.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was worthy sacrifice, but I feel like it got there quite early. But I felt that at the time because I forgot that wasn't the end of the movie. I was like, that's pretty
I was an hour into.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
the same. I looked at my phone and I was like, oh shit, there's an hour of this thing left.
I was like, what? I'm sure that was the end.
Yeah, literally, it felt like it had been a whole film sandwiched inside of an hour. I really quite like that. It felt like you'd gone through this journey, even though there was a lot in it. Rush in it. It was a lot of depth and there was a lot of build, and the rush kind of was worth it as well because you get to see more of the Asgard and stuff like that, and that was more interesting for me anyway. It always looked, and it was the better part of the film, so I was just give me back to that, and yeah. So
the hammer returns to him, restoring his powers and enabling him to defeat the Destroyer. Kissing Foster goodbye and vowing to return, he leaves with his fellow Asgardians to confront Loki. It is pretty cool when he gets all his gear back on, and she's like, "That's a good look with his little red cloak and stuff."
Yeah. Yeah, the way she looks at him, it's like, ooh, definitely drop her pants. What? She does.
Oh, okay.
Somebody say something.
No, you've made it.
No, I was right. In Asgard, Loki betrays and kills Laufey, revealing his true plan to use Laufey's attempt on Odin's life as an excuse to destroy Jotunheim with the Bifrost Bridge, thus proving himself worthy to his adopted father. This confused me a little bit, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. I just thought he wanted Odin dead so he could be king.
Yeah, they kind of changed. Well, his plan changed quite a few times, as you say. He was committed to getting Thor gone, so he was out of the way, and then he was only the logical choice to be the next king, regardless of what happened. Then got lucky in the fact of obviously he's then had to go into the Odin sleeve, so he gets to do it already, prove himself with Thor out of the picture, and then obviously that had to change. So I think it's just making it up on the fly and just trying to make it work, I suppose. And it just looks like a very improvised kind of plan.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it just threw me off because I was like, the Frost Giants didn't need to be involved, but obviously you needed to save him. Okay, yeah.
And you've used him earlier in the film, they had to take that off again, didn't they?
Yeah, because he let him into the treasure room.
Yeah, but as you say, that could have been earlier on in the film, couldn't it? Over and out.
He could have just gone and done it then. Yeah. Damn you, Loki. Thor arrives and fights Loki before destroying the Bifrost Bridge to stop Loki's plan, stranding himself in Asgard. This was a pretty cool battle. Heimdall breaks out of the ice as well, and it kept zooming in on his eye. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was good.
Yeah, and Thor breaks the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. Hashtag 3 times I've made that joke. And now it feels like a redemption. He's like, he can't get back to Earth, like, so he's come full redemption.
Yeah.
And then
he's fully ready now. Yeah.
And then Odin awakens and prevents the brothers from falling into the abyss created in the wake of the bridge's destruction. But Loki apparently commits suicide by allowing himself to fall when Odin rejects his pleas for approval. Thor makes amends with Odin, admitting he is not ready to be king. Meanwhile, on Earth, Foster and her team search a way to open a portal to Asgard. Yeah, it was a good art for Thor. Like, they tied it up nicely. How did you guys feel about sort of the way the film ended?
I was sad. I mean, I know Loki's is a bad guy in this, but I was sad. But yeah, no, it was good. It ended really, really well. Like James said earlier, I like that they went back to Asgard and you got to see more of that, because it was just it was so well done.
Yeah.
It was so like visually just amazing.
It felt refreshing as well.
So I like that they ended it there. And yeah, and I like that the final bit was him obviously talking to Idris. What's his name?
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I came to win.
And saying, can you see her? That was quite a sweet moment. And then you obviously flash back to Jane, and he's like, yeah, she searches for you. So yeah, I really like the way it ended. It was a nice ending.
Yeah, and I agree with you about the Asgard stuff as well, because it felt really refreshing, this film, like after watching all the other ones.
It was like a fantastical land that just looked like everything that you would expect from that, and it just looked really like what you'd imagine Asgard to be, with all this wonderment, these pools of water that are going underneath and then over to the other side.
Paradise, really.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah.
It's a nice change as well from, like, obviously we've done Captain America, Thor, and Hulk, and even like they're good in their own right, or they're not good in their own right. Go listen to the episodes. But this felt completely different. Whereas they were all quite similar. They're on Earth, but this just felt like a completely different movie. It was really good. In a post-credit scene, Selvig is taken to a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility where Nick Fury opens a briefcase and asks him to study a mysterious cube-shaped object, which Fury says may hold untold power. An invisible Loki prompts Selvig to agree, and he does. Da-na-na-na!
Da-na-na-na! He's not dead!
Yeah, boy! Right, MVPs. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
right,
go on,
so
Tiff,
my
you go
MVP,
first.
are we ready? It's not going to be someone who's dead.
It could be whoever you want. Whoever you want.
Come on, stick to your character. Yeah.
Right, okay, so my MVP is Thor.
Okay, cool.
The main man himself, yes, because I just love his character development. I think it's so well done. I think he plays it amazingly. I love the way that he it's very obvious how arrogant he is and naive he is, and he just completely gets taken down a peg when he's banished. And he like we mentioned earlier, when he can't lift Monier or Meow Meow, and it really dawns on him that actually, no, this is legit. Like, you've got to learn your lesson, and he does. And I think he just smashes it and really evolves as a character in the movie. And I mean, he's the god of thunder, and he's just awesome. So yeah, it's Thor. Yeah. Review of the movie. I think it was a really good origins story for Thor. The storytelling was clear and easy to follow, and it was enjoyable. The acting's great. The action scenes are awesome. The character development's really well done. I think like you get to know all the characters, even like the minor ones, like Thor's friends, can't remember their names, don't know, but you even get to know like a little bit of them. In the bit where he's talking them into going to the place where the blue people are,
Jotunheim.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're the the fiercest female warrior."
Blue,
it's just really well done. Yeah. I would have liked to have spent more time on Asgard and like space in general, because I think visually those moments were like just beautiful and they were like awesome. It just has everything you want. It's got humour, action, suspense. It's just an awesome movie. That's very well executed. Awesome. And my rating is going to be an 8.
Oh, 8, which is very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Cool. I'll go next. I like it when James goes last because he's his...
Oh no, you're just leading up to me.
Well, you're a main event guy. You're getting a push.
Okay.
Hashtag wrestling. Right, my MVP I've actually got written ... because I was usually I've pretty much decided, but I wanted to go through this movie again because in the first 20 minutes I was like, it's Odin, he's awesome, Odin boners, but then he has a nap. So if you have a nap, if you're like Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble and you just sit in the corner, you're not getting my MVP as good as actually Roman Reigns couldn't lace Anthony Hopkins' boots. Stop with the wrestling references. So my MVP is going to be Thor. If Odin was in the film longer, it would have been him hands down. I went into the film probably thinking it would be Loki, but I'll get into that in my review. Thor. He like everything you said, Tiff. He's awesome. He's funny. He's hot, and he can. Chris Hemsworth can just seem to do it all. Like, yeah, it was really good, and Thor had a really good arc. It was simple but really effective. So yeah, MVP Thor. I do love this film, but there is a but. Not a bad but a big but. It felt like a tiny bit flatter than I remember, just because I think I set the bar too high because I've got like maybe rose-tinted glasses with a memory, and it didn't give me the same feels as the first time I watched it. It came close, and up to this point, Thor is still 100% my favourite Avenger. But the mortal Thor on Earth stuff is fun, but I wanted more struggle. And with what Loki had told him, I felt like Loki sort of told him his dad was dead and his mum don't want him back, and he just sort of forgot it. And he just was being nice to Jane. He just made me think, what a nice boy Thor is. What a nice chap. Like, you can take him home to your mum, but he's just been told his dad died. And Loki was good, but I wanted more from him. Odin is awesome until he had a nap. I really enjoyed the change of scenery and finally getting into space, like you said. It felt like the most different from the films we've watched so far. I enjoyed watching it again, but I think, yeah, like I said, I set the bar too high. But it was really good, and I do love Thor, but I'm giving it a 7 popcorns, which is good. Because it is a really good film, but I think I overhyped it. But I think that's fair. I think 7's fair. So yeah, 7 popcorns from me. Over to you, James.
Okay, so normally, as you say, like my MVP's already picked out during this. Like going into Captain America, I kind of already had an idea who I was going to pick, and in the other films as well. This one, I tried to leave it open as well, but I always go back, and it is definitely Loki, Tom Hiddleston. I think he's brilliant, just the way he portrays all of the different kind of feelings, and he's a good, well, I don't know if he's a good character actor anyway, I haven't seen that much of his other stuff, but he plays that kind of character quite well from what he looks, and looks like he may have experienced doing it before. So definitely Tom Hiddleston as Loki being my MVP. Cool. But yeah, if Odin was in it, definitely was in there as well. Definitely a good shout, because he did command every scene he was in when he was on screen, and earlier on with the speeches and the way he's ripping off the armour off of Thor, like he's kind of like taking off of his military cuffs and that, kind of completely ripping apart everything he's done. Yeah, so very close second of Odin, but yeah, Tom Hiddleston and Loki. Yeah, so this one I actually, if I remember rightly, back when I originally watched it, I actually waited a little while. I can't remember if I watched it straight away or if I waited for it to come out on DVD or what, which used to take forever anyway.
Yeah.
Like maybe a year or so, but it took me a long while to watch this film. And originally, I really enjoyed it. Like as you say, like everybody kind of had their own parts within it. But I'm struggling again to forget that this is kind of like a second run through and all that kind of thing. And certain things that I liked in the first, I don't like in the second, like with the whole like Earth sequences, as you say, the whole time you're just thinking, just get me back on Asgard. This is much more interesting. Why are we down here? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, and they don't push that. Once again, it's great watching it after watching The Incredible Hulk last week. You see that relationship between Jane Foster and Thor, like Bruce Banner and Betty Ross, not really given much to run off there. You're not really given much history and chemistry between the pair of them anyway, and doesn't help that Natalie Portman is not the greatest actress in my book, personally. But yeah, it just doesn't. It's not a natural thing, and it doesn't seem like when you get with Tony and when you get with Pepper, like the way that Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr. are, the way they bounce off each other, that is believable, and you can get invested within that. Whereas this doesn't really work in the same level as that, anyway. But yeah, it shot brilliantly. It still holds up. As in the storyline, you see all the turns and twists, and they still get you going. So yeah, it's still a very good film. I'd still definitely rate it. But yeah, probably go with a 6.
6 popcorns.
It's worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
Cool, right. So Tiff, you gave it an 8. James gave it a 6. I gave it a 7. Equals 21 divided by 3. So it's a 7. It's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Very
fair.
good. So, homework assignments next week. Avengers Assemble. Now I need to ask you a question. In America it was released as The Avengers, which it should be. But over here we got Avengers Assemble, which sucks. So, when the next episode comes out, do I call it Avengers Assemble or The Avengers?
I think everyone refers to it as the Avengers, regardless of how it was released. Everyone refers to it as the Avengers, and that's the first Avengers film. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the Avengers. Yeah, screw you, Avengers Assemble. But anyway, that's the next one we're watching, so go watch that. And I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome, and we are assembling for that.
Yes.
Not to break the fourth wall, but you may have noticed we don't record in the same room. But for the Avengers film, we will be assembling, and it will be a special episode because it's the end of Phase 1 of the Infinity Saga. Da-na-na-na. So, thank you for listening. It's a goodbye from me.
And bye from me. Bye, guys.
And goodbye from me.
Goodbye from the God of Thunder, James. Anyway, goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your Odin bones.